Hey, honk honk, said this is the closest I'll get to a hammer. I'd like to have you know I have used a hammer before. I'm not opposed to it. Just because you think I don't work hard. That meme is the most offensive thing that anybody's ever posted, according to the internet. And it means that you can't let those people anywhere near power ever again. Because look what they do when they have a voice. They use it to spread memes. Honk honk. Implying that I don't like to work, really? Implying that I don't like to work? As if that'll stick. I show up for this thing, right? Yeah, I have news. I gave you guys some updates over the weekend. Welcome back. It's Monday. I don't have a costume today. I was thinking Hitler as a costume, but I don't know if people find that offensive. I was thinking of shaving. I was thinking of just shaving. So like I just had a Hitler mustache. But I don't have the rest of any outfit or anything. I normally don't get dressed up for Halloween. You guys doing okay this Halloween? It is scary. It is scary out there. I'll give you guys the latest news. The official story is in on the Hammergate, as they're calling it. The official story is in. Is my microphone loud enough? Let me know if you guys hear me okay. I just turned myself up a bit. I have the official report from the feds about what happened. So you can no longer deny that it was a right-wing inspired, politically motivated, attempted assassination. No, you can deny that it was an attempted assassination because he just wanted to break her legs, apparently. I have all that news. So here, this is where I talk about conspiracy theories, but I also give you the official story. So you're going to get the official story today, whether you like it or not. DJ Ray says, is Jelena going to be on the stream sometime this week? I think. Jelena will be joining us. She said the first, second, and fourth Thursdays of the month. I think this Thursday is the first Thursday in November. We made it through another month. It's the best month ever. Or I'm sorry. I believe it was the best October ever for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Believe it or not. You might think things are bad. But actually stocks went up. Not the NASDAQ, but so I can report on that a little bit. I'll show you the offensive memes. I'll show you what people are saying about an end to democracy. Basically, because you had this conspiracy theory about Paul Pelosi, you are a threat. I mean, that's all I can say. If you thought that the Paul Pelosi thing was a gay hookup gone wrong, then you are part of the problem. And you maybe need to be, I don't know, institutionalized with Kanye West. It is unthinkable what Elon Musk did over the weekend. Unthinkable. Which is that he said that it might have been a gay hookup between Paul Pelosi and this other guy. And other people implied that all weekend long. There was people saying that. And Viva Frey, he got censored from Twitter, apparently. Apparently, he's in Twitter jail right now because of tweeting about this story. I'll tell you how my journey went with the story so far is I saw it. I saw the story in the Santa Monica Observer that said It was a gay hookup with a male prostitute. And I thought, I wonder if I can report on this. And then I did. And then I said, allegedly on Twitter, allegedly it was a gay thing, realizing though that it was a conspiracy theory, that it didn't necessarily have full evidence yet, but nobody knew what was going on. So I did one video about it. Then Elon Musk tweeted the article from the Santa Monica Observer that said Paul Pelosi was drunk and it was with a male prostitute. And then the world kind of broke. People said Elon woke up and chose violence, and he did, against Hillary Clinton, who was saying, it was a MAGA thing. And he said, might not have been a MAGA thing, might have been a homo thing, is what he said, or what he showed with the article. And then eventually he deleted that. But people are saying, like, him doing that proves why Elon Musk is unfit to run Twitter, and that you might as well abandon the platform now. I have an article saying that. I mean, there are several articles about why Elon Musk's tweet really matters, because he shared an article from basically, I don't know, I'm not going to call them a fake news website, but they published things. Well, they said that Hillary died and was replaced with a body double. This particular article was an opinion piece, and he said in the article, in my humble opinion. So it wasn't defamatory. It just was an opinion. And he said that. Well, now officially you have to say that it wasn't what people were saying. You have to. Or I don't know if you have to. I mean, what do you guys think? Should I take a poll? Do you believe the official story? I'll run a poll right now. Start a poll. Do you believe the official story? And you haven't even heard it yet from me. But the official story is that he broke in trying to kidnap Nancy Pelosi. And he was going to quiz her and torture her. Well, break her kneecaps if she didn't tell him the truth after he asked her a series of questions. I'll show you. So that's the official story. He broke in. There was just the two of them. Paul was sleeping. He woke up, went to the bathroom where his phone was charging, called the police, and then the police showed up. He opened the door. It was just the two of them, struggling with the hammer, which the guy brought, DePape, who I heard somebody call him DePappy. So I don't know what's correct. I heard somebody calling him DePappy, or DePatsy is what I was thinking. But no, official story. So do you believe the official story? Question mark? Yes, no, maybe. I'll say maybe as a possible option. So I gave 3 possibilities for that question. All right, and then we'll get into the show. Go ahead and vote on the poll. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me play this. I got a whole new setup going for you guys tonight. Okay, cue musical intro. Oh, I got to do that again. Let's get my volume right. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. I bring you the news, the real news. You guys ever watched, is it called No Agenda or Agenda Free TV with Lookner? I was watching his stream because somebody told me he was reading the FBI report, which is what I'll read to you guys. So that's where I got the idea for this stream. And people were saying they didn't believe it in the chat. And he said, "Oh, you conspiracy theorists, if you don't believe this, we're going to ban you. You can't ask questions here." You know, he was really authoritarian about conspiracy theorists in his chat. Now, I have somebody in my chat saying that it wasn't even fake news that Hillary Clinton was replaced with a body double, and that, in fact, she was replaced with a body double. So that's the thing. It just depends on your point of view. He says Hillary does, Joey Boomer in the chat says Hillary does have a body double, shorter, rounder face, and cuter and more charming. The SNL Hillary. And see, I don't time mods. Please do not time out anybody who asks questions about the official story. I'm looking at the poll. The results are kind of ridiculous. I have to tell you guys, I have to say, the official story may be true. Yeah, I don't know if it might be. I don't know. I think a lot of people think it can't possibly be true, that it couldn't possibly be a guy motivated by MAGA stuff. But I think it could be. I mean, people are motivated to do things. I'll read you the official story. I see what the poll results are already. I mean, they're ridiculous. We have 41 votes so far. 93% say they don't believe the official story. So I have an uphill battle here trying to convince you conspiracy theorists that it really happened the way they said it happened. Hold on, let me share this on Twitter. So I'll give you guys everything. Let me share this. Working on my titles for the show. Here I can see this. See what people are saying? And this is what they say you just can't possibly say. I just shared this video, this live stream on Twitter. And the first thing that came up in my feed was this, which is a meme, which Ben Collins is outraged about. Ben Collins is like a chief debunker at NBC News, along with Brandy Zadrozny. Brandy Zadrozny, who just put out a video about the new satanic panic and how satanic ritual abuse is not real. Ben Collins is totally and completely outraged that people are still suggesting that it was a gay thing with Paul Pelosi. And it's maybe at this point, maybe people shouldn't be saying it because of the official story, but people are saying it. Anyway, it's just him giving this random person, a totally random person who replied to Ben Collins with that tweet. So yeah, it's terrible. Let me see what I can tell you people are saying. People are saying it's just awful. There are other big stories in the news. There's another story about this DHS leak, which is that they were manipulating social media platforms. So that's a huge story. I'm going to make sure to go into that too. First, we'll talk about Pelosi because we want to get to the bottom of everything. So far, there wasn't much evidence until the FBI documents came out. The police were still saying that they didn't have a motive. One source had said, the guy said, "Where's Hillary?" One source had said that he had a zip tie and duct tape. But the police were saying officially they didn't have a motive. Now we do because of the FBI report, which I'll show you. But people are going after Elon Musk. Let me just show you various things. Here's here, Ron Flipkowski, just in case you thought there might be a scintilla of remorse coming for sharing disinformation to 110 million people about an assassination attempt targeting the Speaker of the House. Now, I just have to say, it was not an assassination attempt officially now. Officially. So here's the thing about disinformation. So if when you want to get really, if you really want to drill down into it, a lot of things are disinformation. A lot of things the mainstream media says is disinformation. Actually calling it an assassination attempt, which several people have done, turns out was disinformation because the guy said he didn't want to kill her. He said that to the feds. So it was not an assassination attempt. And yet they said it. And on top of that, they said they were willing to say, so they're mad, these people, Ron Flipkowski, Ben Collins, and other Kevins. They're called Kevins, right? If they're male Karen. They can't stand that before the facts were in, while we only had anonymous sources, before the facts were in, while there were only anonymous sources saying some things, we had this thing that happened at 2:30 in the morning, a lot of questions about how the guy got by security. There's the story about the underwear situation at first, which got withdrawn, but it still came out at first. And then at first, there was other information that said somebody else might have let the police in. There might have been a third person involved. So that was all going around all at the beginning. And people speculated. They said, maybe it was a gay thing. That, and Elon Musk speculated, Hillary Clinton, before the facts were in. Before the facts were in, they speculated, which before the facts were in, many people on the left were speculating that it was an assassination attempt, which they could have been wrong about, or they could have been wrong about what they were saying because the facts weren't in yet. They didn't have the FBI report yet. So they didn't know for sure. And sometimes people say things when they don't know for sure. They say, oh, I'm speculating. Maybe. And that's okay. Or I'm sorry. I say it's okay. People like Ron Flipkowski and Ben Collins say, like, that's an end to democracy. I'll play you a clip and then I'll show you I'll play you a clip of Ben Collins. He was on MSNBC this morning talking about it. This guy is like, I think he's written about one of my videos before because I was talking about how that girl on Twitter said she was sold as a sex slave to Tom Hanks. And I made that video. And then other people were saying things about Tom Hanks because of that. And then this guy at NBC News was like, look at all these people talking about Tom Hanks that need to be censored now. So that's the kind of thing he does. He's like, this needs to be censored immediately. People can't think this. It's not okay. these conspiracy theories are harmful. Okay, so that's his line, Ben Collins. But they're all the same. Learn their names. This is one of the guys at NBC, along with Brandy Zadrozny. Let me see.
First of all, lies on the internet move faster than the truth. And that's in part why there are all these safeguards that Elon Musk is trying to take down on Twitter right now. The lies that were pushed were from bad pieces of information they found. For example, they said that Paul Pelosi was in his underwear. Of course he was, 2:30 in the morning at the time he was attacked. That led them to believe this was a lover's quarrel between two different people that knew each other. The reason they believed they knew each other is because the police put out a statement saying that they didn't really know who opened the door. So that led them to believe there was a third person in the house. Mm-hmm. So from there was this world building on the pro-Trump internet. What could be the opposite of reality here? And the opposite of reality they came up with was these two people were having a lover's quarrel in a house, and the police sort of intruded on us. It's fundamentally incorrect. It was pushed by the richest man in the world. And then yesterday, it was pushed by Donald Trump Jr., who posted a picture of underwear and a hammer and said it's a Halloween costume for Paul Pelosi. If we don't cut this out right now, not just the normalization of violence, but the idea that reality can't even exist anymore because it cannot catch up to the lies on the internet. I'm not a scholar on authoritarian history, but I've read Hannah Arendt, I've read all these people. Mm-hmm. This is how it gets really bad. This is the start of something that gets really, really bad. If you are getting the guardrails off the truth, where it literally cannot catch up to the lies on the internet because of how the pipes work, how the system works, because of the incentives of the richest people in the world, then that's how you lose your democracy.
So he's so funny. I mean, he really, I don't think he's faking it. I think maybe he really believes it. There are people that really believe this stuff. That's the worst kind. Well, I don't know what's worse, if he was just doing it because for money or something, but I think he really believes it. The truth, did you hear what he said about the truth? The truth needs guardrails. The truth needs guardrails, Ben. Okay, I got it. And without the guardrails, that's how we lose our democracy. He said because Donald Trump Jr. tweeted something that was really offensive. Is there an echo? Sorry about that. I'll try to do better. Yes, I didn't have the video pulled up for display for most of it, and there might have been an echo. I apologize. The next one will be better. The next one. So yeah, that was him saying it's a threat to democracy. Yeah, that's what people are saying about this post from Donald Trump Jr. This is from Adam Kinzinger tweeting about, I think it must have been an Instagram post from Donald Trump Jr. This is the Instagram post, which says, got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready. And for the podcast, it is pictures of Hanes tidy whities, like a big pair of tidy whities and a hammer on top of them. So it's hammer and underwear. And Donald Trump Jr. says, got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready. And Adam Kinzinger says, it's time to wake up America. This isn't going well, because he posted that. What do we think about Donald Trump and Donald Trump Jr. and Elon Musk, both making light perhaps of the story? Donald Trump Jr. definitely making light of it, of the story. An 82-year-old man who smashed his car up recently, I guess, drunk driving. 82-year-old man was alone at home in bed. The guy showed up with a hammer, demanding to see Nancy Pelosi, and then ended up hammering him in his head and knocking him unconscious, apparently. So that's bad. We don't think that's good or funny. But people make fun of things that are tragic sometimes. So, and and fortunately, Paul Pelosi is going to make a full recovery, they say. So it's okay. Like, it's cool. Nobody died. It's not Sandy Hook. I know we're not supposed to say those words here, but it's not. Nobody died. Somebody did get attacked, and that's wrong. And we have to say it's wrong. And now they are saying it's wrong because disinformation is like where this all started. That conspiracy theories about the election are one of the reasons that this guy attacked Paul Pelosi. Here's another person tweeting about it, just to show how outraged people are. People are outraged completely and utterly. It's just outrageous. Here's this person, Brian Class, says, how depraved can you be? This is in regards to the Donald Trump tweet. How depraved can you be? An 82-year-old man was beaten nearly to death with a hammer by a deranged QAnon disciple who believed MAGA conspiracy theories. And the American right, including Trump's adult son, thinks the assassination attempt is hilarious. We are in such a dark place. Well, once again, they call it an assassination attempt, which officially it wasn't. I told you that. So what are we going to say then about it now? It was a conspiracy theory. I propose that while there wasn't much information, that circulating such a conspiracy theory is okay. Now that there's more information, you really need to have more evidence, basically. Like now, if you're going to say it and speculate on it, you would have to have some serious evidence to back up your claims, because you're going against the evidence of what the feds say. But according to my very scientific poll, 92% of everybody doesn't believe the official story, which I haven't even revealed. So I was going over all the details. I was like, where did all the information come from? Originally, it just came from a few sources. And then I was curious about whether it was real, but now we have the real story. So I'll show you the real story. And you guys can feel free to have you here on this channel. You can question the official story. I'll allow it. Mods, please allow people to question the official story. So this is what the feds said from the Department of Justice. It says a California man was charged today with assault and attempted kidnapping in violation of federal law in connection with the break-in at the residence of Nancy and Paul Pelosi. According to the complaint, David Wayne DePape, 42 of Richmond, was arrested on Friday by SFPD after responding to a 911 call from Paul Pelosi. Paul Pelosi later described to police that he had been asleep when DePape, whom he had never seen before, entered his bedroom looking for Nancy Pelosi. According to the complaint, minutes after the 911 call, 2 police officers responded to the Pelosi residence where they encountered Paul Pelosi and DePape struggling over a hammer. Officers told the men to drop the hammer, and DePape allegedly gained control of the hammer and swung it, striking Pelosi in the head. Officers immediately restrained DePape while Pelosi appeared to be unconscious on the ground. As set forth in the complaint, once DePape was restrained, officers secured a roll of tape, white rope, a second hammer, a pair of rubber and cloth gloves, and zip ties from the crime scene, where officers observed a broken glass door to the back porch. DePape is charged with 1 count of assault of an immediate family member of a United States official with the intent to retaliate against the official, on account of the performance of official duties, which carries a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison. DePape is also charged with one count of attempted kidnapping of a United States official on account of the performance of official duties, which carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. So that's what they say. So you got the, so Pelosi was sleeping. The guy came in the bedroom. He said he was looking for Nancy. Pelosi said he had never seen DePape before. This is what DePape told San Francisco police officers, allegedly. I'll share that with you. DePape, this is in a Mirandized and recorded interview. DePape provided the following information. DePape stated that he was going to hold Nancy hostage and talk to her. If Nancy were to tell DePape the truth, he would let her go. And if she lied, he was going to break her kneecaps. DePape was certain that Nancy would not have told the truth. In the course of the interview, DePape articulated he viewed Nancy as the leader of the pack of lies told by the Democratic Party. DePape also later explained that by breaking Nancy's kneecaps, she would then have to be wheeled into Congress, which would show other members of Congress there were consequences to actions. DePape also explained generally that he wanted to use Nancy to lure another individual to DePape. Don't know what that means. I don't know who he was trying to lure. DePape stated that he broke into the house through a glass door, which was a difficult task that required the use of a hammer. DePape stated that Pelosi was in bed and appeared surprised by DePape. DePape told Pelosi to wake up. DePape told Pelosi that he was looking for Nancy. Pelosi responded that she was not present. Pelosi asked how they could resolve the situation and what DePape wanted to do. DePape stated he wanted to tie Pelosi up so that DePape could go to sleep as he was tired from having had to carry a backpack to the Pelosi residence. Around this time, so he could go to sleep. Okay. Makes sense. Around this time, according to DePape started taking out twist ties from his pocket so he could restrain Pelosi. Pelosi moved toward another part of the house, but DePape stopped him and together they went back into the bedroom. While talking with each other, Pelosi went into a bathroom where Pelosi grabbed a phone to call 911. DePape stated he felt like Pelosi's actions compelled him to respond. DePape remembered thinking that there was no way the police were going to forget about the phone call. DePape explained that he did not leave after Pelosi's called the 911 because, much like the American founding fathers with the British, he was fighting against tyranny without the option of surrender. DePape reiterated this sentiment elsewhere in the interview. DePape said they went downstairs to the front door. The police arrived and knocked on the door, and Pelosi ran over and opened it. Pelosi grabbed onto DePape's hammer, which was in DePape's hand. At this point in the interview, DePape repeated that DePape did not plan to surrender and that he would go through Pelosi. He stated that he pulled the hammer away from Pelosi and swung the hammer toward him. DePape explained that Pelosi's actions resulted in Pelosi taking the punishment instead. So, there you go. They seized some things at his residence, including 2 hammers, a sword, a pair of rubber and cloth gloves. They found DMV paperwork, IRS letters, and PayPal credit cards. So this guy wasn't canceled from PayPal yet. He will be, though. They didn't know. He had PayPal credit cards. You'd think he would know better. So that's it. That's the official story. Okay. You already said in the poll that you don't believe the official story, but it could be true. I'm just telling you, It could be. I mean, all they could do now is, release body camera footage and stuff, which they could do. And there is the actual 911 call, which they haven't released. So that's where we're at, though. As far as Hammergate goes, I mean, it seems like that's the official story. So that's it. That's what we have to believe. Sounds possible. I believe it's possible. I mean, someone could have been inspired by whatever. So people get radicalized. People get radicalized by QAnon for real. People get radicalized by neo-Nazi stuff for real. And people might have been radicalized into thinking stuff about Pelosi for real too. And then he's a crazy person. He's not mentally well. So he ends up doing something really stupid. But but it's not the fault of people who ran attack ads on Nancy Pelosi. And that's what they're trying to say, which is that, it's because people said things about Nancy Pelosi, and you can't possibly say things about Nancy Pelosi because it'll end up in political violence. How many articles are there about this? Let me show you. Here, Max Boot, columnist for the Washington Post, wrote an article about it. Said it's all right-wing violence. That's all there is. Pelosi attack. This was written before the official report was out. Max Boot says, don't blame both sides. The right is driving political violence. So all political violence is apparently coming from the right. Well, this attack, the guy's not exactly your classic right-wing MAGA Trump supporter. It's not the dictionary definition. I mean, he is a Berkeley nudist, but he did get into, apparently, some stuff that people on the right are into. He was talking about the election. He was talking about January 6th. He was talking about COVID stuff. And that's what they're saying now, though, is because of all that stuff. That's why he did the attack. I'll show you. I had that story from Max Boot. Here's people saying how bad Elon Musk is. Elon Musk deleted a tweet about Paul Pelosi. Here's why that matters. The comment amplified a baseless report about the attack of Nancy Pelosi's husband and stirred an outcry. And here from The Guardian and Robert Reich, he says about the Pelosi tweet. I mean, it was you're the worst person ever if you shared any of those memes. You are, like, whether you know it or not, you are the worst. And Elon Musk, this is a story from The Guardian and Robert Reich. Elon Musk's Paul Pelosi tweet proves he has no business running Twitter. If Musk's tweet doesn't raise bright red warning signs all over the world about his judgment and character, I don't know what will, he says. And then he relays how Elon Musk dared amplify the conspiracy theory that it was a gay hookup. So what do you guys think? I mean, it is true that it always was a conspiracy theory without much evidence. So should people like Elon Musk be more, subdued about the things they share and maybe not share stuff like that, which can be so controversial? And what about Donald Trump Jr.? Donald Trump Jr., I'd say, probably shouldn't have shared the Halloween thing. I mean, it is insensitive, and his dad is going to run for president again. So I'd say actually the Donald Trump Jr. tweet, even though it's not an end to democracy, I still feel like probably it was kind of maybe a little not presidential, not very presidential. So it doesn't reflect well on his family and stuff. So I'd say that about it. The underwear and hammer, considering the guy did get attacked with a hammer, allegedly. I mean, you have to just accept that that's a possibility. And so, yeah, probably, and maybe even Elon Musk. In my opinion, maybe even Elon Musk should have kept it to himself before he had more information. But it's not the end of the world. These people are crazy. Everybody has conspiracy theories. I support people's right to have conspiracy theories. Like Kyrie Irving, I have a story about that. Oh, and Joe Biden is, hold on. Joe Biden is pissed about it. He's saying you got to censor. Basically, I mean, that's the way things are going, is in order to prevent this from happening, you need to censor. We need more censorship. Or you can't say certain things. Either you can't say them or we're going to censor them. Let me play what Joe Biden said.
And the generic point I want to make is that, it's one thing to condemn the violence, but you can't condemn the violence unless you condemn those people who continue to argue the election was not real, that it's being stolen, that all the malarkey that's being put out there to undermine democracy. You can't just apologize and say the violence. It affects people's mentality. It affects how people think, particularly people who are not maybe as stable as other people. So the talk has to stop. That's the problem. That's the problem. You can't just say, I feel badly about the violence. We condemn it. Condemn what produces the violence. And this talk produces the violence. Thank you.
That's it. That's pretty much it summarized for you guys, by the way. I said that that's what they were going to say, is that it's because of the conspiracy theories that he attacked Nancy Pelosi. That's what they're saying. It's because of the conspiracy theories. And so you have to stop the conspiracy theories. So that's where it's going. That's the road we're going down with this story.
Has to stop. That's the problem. That's the problem. You can't just say, I feel badly about the violence. We condemn it. Condemn what produces the violence. And this talk produces the violence. Thank you. And
this talk produces the violence. Oh, shoot. Thanks everybody for tuning in. This show is totally independent and supported by your contributions. You can tip on with the super chat, but it's better to go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil because it's an alternative to PayPal for supporting the show. And you can go there, leave me a message, and I will read it on the show. And I came late with my first ad, so hopefully people can still remember. Yes, but that is the only way the show is supported, is through your tips, either on Rockfin or on YouTube or on buymeacoffee.com. So I appreciate everybody who supports the show. A reminder that it is brought to you guys, free of charge and stuff. So we appreciate that. Also, you can pick up our t-shirts. Or hoodies. I'm wearing a propaganda hoodie today, which is pretty cool. Check that out at truthclothing.io. But yeah, hopefully somebody will drop me a coffee or two on this show. All right. And so, yeah, that's the narrative. Okay. And I say that maybe Elon Musk and Donald Trump Jr. should be better. Maybe they should have held it in a little longer, even though it was kind of funny. I mean, if you have that kind of sense of humor. But to some people, it's very offensive. So maybe they should have thought about how some people would be offended. Now that, especially now that the official story is out. So that's the official story. Okay. You guys don't believe it. That's cool. Let's see. There's a story from the Atlantic today people are talking about, which says we need forgiveness for the lockdowns and the masks and the vaccines and everything, that we need forgiveness for all those people who were wrong. It says, let's declare a pandemic amnesty. We need to forgive one another for what we did and said when we were in the dark about COVID. And that means the people that need to be forgiven, obviously, are the ones that were wrong, not the ones who were right, who everybody was yelling at and calling names at the time. The people who need to be forgiven are the ones who were wrong and said you had to wear masks and said you couldn't go to school and said you had to get the vax. And she's saying, oh, we didn't know. We didn't understand. And if you did understand, my favorite part of the article, this is the one Scott Adams went this way too. It's like when people say, oh, you were right, but I'll show you. I'll show you what it says in this. In the people, it says the people who got it right for whatever reason may want to gloat. Then it says, in the face of so much uncertainty, getting something right had a hefty amount of luck. And similarly, getting something wrong wasn't a moral failing. Treating pandemic choices as a scorecard of which some people racked up more points than others is preventing us from moving forward. Well, sorry, but some people were correct. And in a lot of cases, it didn't have to do with luck. But still, I appreciate it. I thought that masks worked at first. There wasn't much information about it. So I actually thought at the beginning that masks worked. So I do have some sympathy to this argument because people didn't forgive me for my statements. And they could have, because I obviously came around on it. I forgive people who came around. Some people, I forgive people if they come around. I'm willing to, for sure. If they're saying now they were wrong and they want forgiveness, if they're asking for forgiveness and admitting they were wrong, then maybe there can be some forgiveness. If you're just saying, oh, you got to forgive me because it wasn't my fault, then that's not really an apology. So you don't need to get forgiveness, not amnesty, not like blanket amnesty. But I like how they say, oh, if you got it right, you were just lucky. You were just lucky. Because nobody could have known. Nobody could have known that the vaccine wasn't. Oh, wait. I'm on YouTube. The vaccine, according to the CDC, is safe and effective, and it helps prevent transmission. Believe it or not, according to YouTube guidelines, the vaccine is nothing short of a miracle. But people didn't know that right away. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, that's the news. Yeah, let's declare a pandemic. Well, first ask my forgiveness, and then we can talk about it. But don't just say you deserve forgiveness. Ask for it. Say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. There's none of that in this article. It's like, I was wrong, but it wasn't my fault. It's not really good enough. So the other major story in the news today, and please, if you want to support this stream, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil and drop me a coffee. DHS's, this shows that the government The report is leaked documents outline the DHS's plans to police disinformation. This is from The Intercept. And it's a great article. It's a huge bombshell report. Basically says that the government was working with companies to patrol what they call disinformation, and specifically about things like vaccine policy, COVID information, information about Ukraine. I can read to you a little bit from this article. DHS's mission to fight disinformation, stemming from concerns around Russian influence in the 2016 presidential election, began taking shape during the 2020 election over efforts to shape discussions around vaccine policy during the coronavirus pandemic. According to a draft copy of DHS's quadrennial Homeland Security Review, DHS's capstone report outlining the department's strategy and priorities in the coming years, the department plans to target inaccurate information on a wide range of topics, including, quote, the origins of the COVID-19 pandemic and the efficacy of COVID-19 vaccines, racial justice, U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan, and the nature of U.S. support to Ukraine. Quote, the challenge is particularly acute in marginalized communities, unquote, the report says, which are often the targets of false or misleading information, such as false information on voting procedures targeting people of color. So they're talking about shaping information and false information about the withdrawal from Afghanistan, about racial justice, about the COVID-19 pandemic, and about vaccine policy. So it's everything that you would think. Because the DHS justifies these goals by claiming that terrorist threats can be exacerbated by misinformation and disinformation spread online. And that's what they're saying with this the whole Nancy Pelosi thing, right? People think it's a false flag, or what can I say? Some people, said it was I don't even know if many people are saying that. Some people are saying that maybe it was because the guy happens to be a conspiracy theorist. And they're always trying to say that conspiracy theories cause violence. That's what they're always trying to say. It's that conspiracy theories are causing violence, or that conspiracy theories are going to make people violent. That's what they said about QAnon. And that's what they say about everything. So it was so then with this attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband, it reinforces that narrative, which they're already going with, the narrative, which is that conspiracy theories lead to violence. And therefore, you can't say the conspiracy theories. Otherwise, they'll write articles about how you shouldn't say it, like about Elon Musk. You can't say the conspiracy theories. And if you do say them, you should get censored. We should control the information and put guardrails on the truth, like the way Ben Collins says. Guardrails on the truth. So, that's a big leak. And I'm curious. I'd be curious if my channel, my big channel, when I made vaccine content and was censored by YouTube, I'm curious whether any of that censorship was related to anything the government might have told YouTube to do about my videos. So now that it's being confirmed that they're doing it, I'm not surprised at all. But it is a big bombshell story that it is being revealed for real. So let me check. I gave it so late in the show. Let me check to see if anybody dropped me any coffees today. I had one person leave me coffees from over the weekend. Thanks, Rip the Veil, who got me coffees over the weekend. And thanks, Elvis C. Yeah, if you guys could support the show, this is it. Your support is what makes it work. So drop a coffee. You can do it after the show's over. Go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, or you can drop a tip at Rockfin at rockfin.com/lifttheveil. Thanks for the $2. Thanks, Michelle Obama as a man, for the tip on Rockfin. I appreciate it. And I think I went over pretty much the whole news story. Oh, update on betting odds for the election is the race in Washington State seems like it might be close, believe it or not. So I put a bet on that. There's one poll showing that state, the Senate race in Washington State, actually might be close. So thanks everybody who supports the show. You can do it even after the show's over, like I said. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Good to see you. And we'll see you at the next one. The show is at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, right here. Subscribe, hit the bell, etc. All right. See you tomorrow night. That is what it is. Oops.